Hello, Christina. Welcome to our client spotlight. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you for having me today.
I'm excited to have you and really just get to know you and the business a little bit more. Christina and her husband, Brad, run a company called B Project. I'm going to let her tell you a little bit more about the company. But Christina, so honored that you're here today and letting us get to know you a little bit more. And please share with us a little bit more about yourself and the company and what you guys do and everything we should know.
Sure. So Brad and I, my husband, we own a health and wellness facility located in Carlsbad. We actually met each other about 20 years ago. We both worked for a physical therapy company. And while working there, we kind of noticed some limitations or things that we were a little frustrated with your traditional kind of physical therapy setting. And we took those frustrations that, we had about that setting and kind of said, okay, if we could create our own little facility, what would it be and what would it include? And so we do physical therapy, we do nutrition counseling, and we also do personal training sessions.
Awesome. And did you start out primarily? So I've been to your office.
Mm-hmm.
At your facility. And what's so cool is it actually looks like a gym. Like you have the physical therapy tables, like in the same areas you have like the workout equipment. And I also know that the equipment that you guys use, some of the like tables and stuff, they are not things that I would normally notice in a gym. So fill me in about some pieces in your setting that you have.
Sure. So a lot of the stuff that's in our gym is free weights. So you have a lot of full squat cages, half racks, dumbbells, barbells, things of that nature. And then you have these unique pieces that my husband, Brad, actually designed and created. And we have a friend who is a welder, and Brad basically said, hey, these are my ideas, so we have stretching tables that are specific to B Project. We have double-sided mirrors and cages that are specific to B Project. We have, we call it a medicine ball cage, where you can do like a multitude of different exercises, within it. And it's made out of metal and also wood. We have a jumping platform that's like a springboard that you would see in gymnastics floor work. One of our old employees, or I guess our first intern really, he was a gymnastics coach. And so he and Brad started talking about just, like jumping routines and plyometrics and stuff like that. And so then Brad and ended up building this jumping platform. And then from there, because we work with a lot of snow athletes, and how would you need to land on like not only an unstable surface, but an uneven or an angle. And so then Brad built this wedge, that you can kind of utilize as well as part of, a plyometrics routine. So yes, so I guess there are a lot of, interesting and unique pieces to B Project that either my husband has made or he's actually created and we've had somebody else make for us.
Very cool. I recall lots of skateboards and snowboards signed and autographed. So I imagine Your specialty is kind of working with probably professional athletes as well, coming through there on the training side, and I'm sure physical therapy as well.
Yes. Yeah. Your action sports athletes. So your surfers, your snowboarders, your skaters, we've worked with hockey players, football players, soccer players, but I would say like our main clientele is just your active lifestyle enthusiast. We live in a beautiful area that is, the sun is out like 90% of the year. We've got a couple of days of rain here and there that might keep us inside. But other than that, like we all live and, either grew up in San Diego or moved to San Diego and stayed in San Diego.
That's right.
Because of our weather and how it allows us to kind of just live this like active lifestyle,
Very cool. So part of this interview also is meant to really highlight your company culture and kind of how you maintain it. So I'd love to know about your team, your physical therapist, how do you keep everybody engaged and happy that maybe other companies should consider?
Yes. So we really kind of promote our culture as a family lifestyle culture, where, you know, we expect our employees to communicate with us like hard talks, you know, maybe they're upset about something, maybe something happened, you know, it's like communicating that to us, and then us being open not only to listen to that, but also communicate, you know, back with them. So there's no like closed doors or hidden anything, you know, like everything is a two-way street. We appreciate our employees, because without them, you know, like we don't have a company or a company of, you know, this size. And so I always make sure for their birthdays, we have like a big party at B Project, you know, they get gifts. We have employee appreciation days where they get to vote like on a day that they just want to have off per year, and we'll close the company down for that day and allow everybody to, you know, have that day off. You know, we like, not only do we say thank you every night before they leave, I think it's also just important to, you know, just make sure that you're open to listening to them, you're very appreciative of them, and they know how appreciative you are of them. And just like communication is the key, the golden key, you know, to happy workers. And of course, like things like, you know, paying them well and giving them great benefits and, you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I feel like most companies do that. So.
Awesome. Thank you. And then have you found, obviously you just mentioned right before we pressed record that you just hired 3 new employees, 2 trainers, 1 physical therapist.
Yes.
How was it trying to find these people? Obviously we're in the Great Resignation. There's all this talk about how difficult it is right now, but how was it for you guys? And what do you think it was that kind of hooked them into working with you versus another company?
Well, I think one of the things that employees are drawn to our business is that they're working with highly motivated people. I think a lot of I'm going to say your traditional physical therapy companies don't always have as highly motivated individuals to get better. And so I think that's something that draws a lot of people to our company, or a lot of employees to our company. I think also we're really huge on education. You know, our onboarding and training period is a minimum of 6 weeks. And that's working one-on-one with, you know, myself, with Brad, with one of our like head trainers, to make sure that, you know, they're understanding our philosophy, they're understanding our methodology, you know, and they don't feel stressed like, oh my gosh, I don't remember what I'm supposed to do here, because ultimately that lack of training is going to be taken out on our clients at the end of the day, and we don't want that to occur. And so I think there's almost like this security feeling from new hires that I don't have to learn everything like today or within 3 days. You know, I have a minimum of 6 weeks, and sometimes they need longer than that. And so we'll give them a little bit extra time. So we know that what we do here is very overwhelming for a new hire, and we're okay with, I guess, taking the time that they need in order to learn it, feel comfortable with it, and ask all the questions that they need. Like we always tell them, you can't ask too many questions. You know, if you need to ask the same question like 100 times just to grasp it, you know, make sure you understand it, fine. Let's do what you need to do in order for you to understand, you know, our
That's awesome. I was just on a call yesterday, and one of the things that came up was how important employee onboarding is, especially in an environment today where I think the statistics that was shared was that 50% of new hires on their first day start looking for their next job. And you're just like, oh my gosh. And it's all about the onboarding process. And so I think it's really, really important and so great that you actually take the time and invest the time in these employees to set them up for success.
Yeah.
You know,
a lot of
and give them like encouragement and support that they can actually succeed.
Right. Exactly. I won't mention where it was, but one of my, previous jobs as a dietitian, I thought I was going to have a week to onboard. That's what I was originally told. And then my second day, so day one, I was told, okay, here's all the information that you need to learn, like read all of our policies, read all of our procedures, familiarize yourself with, the building and everything like that. And I was like, okay, so I have a week to do this. So I'm, being the pre-planner that I am, I'm like, okay, so I've got this day and this much time in order to kind of go through all this stuff. Well, my second day in, they were like, okay, here's your caseload, and I and I was all, oh, okay, well, I guess I'm off to the races, and I'll just have to somehow weave these things in as I'm kind of going through my full caseload. And I just realized, like, man, if I ever kind of owned or ran a place, like, I wouldn't want that to occur, because it really stresses you out, because you don't want to make mistakes, especially being in the healthcare industry where you're dealing with people who have injuries or illnesses or, whatnot, like you definitely don't want to make a mistake. And so the more that you can onboard and train and build confidence in that new employee, like I said, the better outcome it's going to be for our clients.
Absolutely. Nice. I'm so glad that we're here chatting, and you'll have to remind, because our office is in Carlsbad. I know you guys are actually right down the street from our office.
Yes.
So tell everybody the exact location of your office and where people can come to you.
Sure. Yeah. So our location is actually right by K1, the indoor go-kart racing facility. We kind of share a little, zone with them. So our address is 2075 Corte del Nogal. That's in Carlsbad. Our cross streets are Palomar Airport Road and El Camino Real. We're just west of El Camino Real, about 3.5 miles east of the 5.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then do you guys have anything going on now? I want to just make sure if you have like any specials or any like promotions or any news, any upcoming events or anything that you want to share.
Yes. So, as you mentioned, we hired another physical therapist, our first female physical therapist, and we're really excited to have her. She'll start in the middle of June. We're going to be running specials for her where you can either take $50 off your treatment evaluation, or if you buy a 3-pack, so that includes your treatment evaluation plus 2 follow-up sessions, we're going to be giving $100 off of that. So awesome. That promotion will start in mid-June when she starts, and will run for probably the summer, so through August.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, Christine, thank you for being on. I really, really appreciate it. And if there's, we'll share this, I'll get this to you, and we'll make sure that we just do our best to share how awesome you guys are as clients. And I know you guys take really good care of your employees. So really appreciate it, Christina. And thank you for being on.
Thank you. Thank you, Stephanie. I appreciate it as well.
Have a good day.
Thanks, you too.
Bye.
Bye.